Welcome to MotoGP Mac. In today's video, we're going to talk about the upcoming race this weekend in Mugello. Now, before we get into it, here is the schedule for Friday. Here is the schedule for Saturday. And here is the schedule for Sunday. So, the Mugello race is one of the races, if you have a bucket list, put this one on your bucket list. Yes, it's a bit out there, difficult to get to, but there is absolutely nothing like hearing a MotoGP bike coming down that main straight. It is just epic. So if you do get a chance, that's the one you go to. But this weekend, it's really going to be about one person. Can Pecco Bagnaia strike back? Did he find exactly what he needed in that test to strike back and start bringing the battle to the Marquez brothers? Because look, at this stage, you know, where he is, 93 points behind, it's shit or bust this weekend. Pecco has to rise, has to be competitive, has to be giving Marc Marquez and Alex Marquez a tough time of it. They're going to go out and just do what they usually do, you know, be fast, be consistent. So it's going to be very interesting. Franco Morbidelli, who is not that far behind Pecco Bagnaia when you really look at it, I think somewhere in the region of 25 points behind Pecco, could be very good around Mugello also, as well as Fabio Di Giannantonio. Not a bad guy around Mugello, if I can remember correctly. Zarco, what is the Honda going to do? It's going to be pretty interesting. Can it handle it? We do know that top speed is not the favourite friend of the Honda, so a monster of a straight like Mugello, he could be a little bit of a sitting duck. Marco Bezzecchi, it's going to be interesting to see what Bez does this weekend. Apparently in the test they did find a very good electronic setting. Let's wait and see, does that actually come to fruition? Pedro Acosta will be very interesting as well for Pedro. You know, the KTM has a killer of an engine, so coming down that straight should be good for it. It's the twisty bits are the problem there. Will they just fade backwards? Fermin Aldeguer, you know, Aldeguer, let's wait and see. You know, he's doing much more than I thought that he would. Yes, he's on the Ducati, and I know people are whinging about that, but look, he does seem to be fairly aggressive. So it's going to be an interesting one. Fabio Quartararo, again, Yamaha tends to have a good run around here. Are they going to be able to live with the Ducatis, Aprilias and the KTMs? Not 100% sure. You know, what you can be 100% guaranteed is Quartararo will bring it to its max. Maverick Vinales, again, it's going to be interesting to see what Maverick turns up. He was pretty positive after the test that they found some good settings and some new parts, so it will be interesting. Ayagura as well, similar. Will he be back or will he not be back? It looks like he will be back, but will he be at 100%? I'm not 100% sure. We won't have any Luca Marini. Brad Binder and Enea Bastianini did have kind of an okay test, did find something, but let's wait and see. Binder is definitely a Sunday man, but can he hang with them for the whole weekend, I suppose, is the main question I have on Binder. Jack Miller and Alex Rins, you know, battling really for second best Yamaha. Be interesting to see what goes on with the two of them, especially now with Toprak confirmed. You know, who is going to fill the second factory seat for 2020, 2026, 27, etc. You know, Jack Miller's future is going to be decided before the summer, so you know, it's kind of best foot forward now for Jack, but also for Rins. He needs to start booking up if he wants to be kept on. Joan Mir, look, as I said, Joan Mir needs to finish races. You know, he has a pretty good bike if you look at where Zarco is. Zarco is a good 50, 60, 70 points ahead of him. He needs to pull the finger out, in my opinion. Raul Fernandez, again, look, he does need a strong weekend. Taka Nakagami will be here this weekend. in place of Luca Marini. Lorenzo Savadori will also be here. And then we have Miguel Oliveira and Samkit Chantra. Would be interesting to see exactly where they get to and how they do. I'm not really expecting a lot out of Chantra, if I'm very honest. From what I could see in Silverstone, he's losing an awful lot of time on the brakes, and there's some big stops here on the brakes, so it's going to be a very, very difficult one for him. All in all, though, look, I am really looking forward to the races this weekend. Mugello is one of my favorite circuits, and as mentioned, it definitely needs to be put on your bucket list. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. Who do you think is going to be the fastest man on Friday? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.